This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 2030. Good Parenting. Should We Give Kids Choices? By Adina Soclof of ParentingSimply.com. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome back to another parenting edition of ORD. My name is Greg Audino. I am your host and narrator, and I'm so happy to have you back here with me once again. Today, we'll look at a post from Adina Soclof, and as she always does, she will be providing a great lesson for parents. This one is all about the power of choice and how giving your kids choices can go a really long way for them. So let's get into it now as we optimize your life. Good Parenting. Should We Give Kids Choices? By Adina Soclof of ParentingSimply.com. I have taught, in almost all my classes, that giving children choices is one of the best parenting techniques that you can use. It helps to, number 1, foster independence, number 2, promote decision-making skills, number 3, show respect to kids, number 4, give kids limited control, number 5, empower kids, and number 6, foster language development. The list can go on and on. Now, this past summer, I read an article that called this technique into question. Atlantic.com posted an article called How to Land Your Child in Therapy. And in the article, the author said, quote, "The message we send kids with all the choices we give them is that they are entitled to a perfect life. That, as Dan Kindlon, the psychologist from Harvard, puts it, if they ever feel a twinge of non-euphoria, there should be another option. Mogul puts it even more bluntly. What parents are creating with all this choice are anxious and entitled kids, whom she describes as handicapped royalty. As a parent, I'm all too familiar with this. I never said to my son, 'Here's your grilled cheese sandwich.' I'd say, 'Do you want the grilled cheese or the fish sticks?' On a Saturday, I would say, 'Do you want to go to the park or the beach?' Sometimes, if my preschooler was having a meltdown over the fact that we had to go to the grocery store, instead of swooping him up and wrestling him into the car, I'd give him a choice. Do you want to go to Trader Joe's or Ralph's? Once we got to the market, it was, do you want the vanilla yogurt or the peach? But after I'd set up this paradigm, we couldn't do anything unless he had a choice. One day when I said to him, 'Please put your shoes on, we're going to Trader Joe's,' he replied matter-of-factly, 'What are my other choices?' I told him there were no other choices. We needed something from Trader Joe's. 'But it's not fair if I don't get to decide too,' he pleaded ingenuously. He'd come to expect unlimited choice. When I was my son's age, I didn't routinely get to choose my menu or where to go on weekends, and the friends I asked said they didn't either. There was some negotiation, but not a lot, and we were content with that. We didn't expect so much choice, so it didn't bother us not to have it until we were older, when we were ready to handle the responsibility it requires. But today, Twenge says, we treat our kids like adults when they're children, and we infantilize them when they're 18 years old." End quote. Like most of my peers, I'd always thought that providing choices to young children gave them a valuable sense of agency and allowed them to feel more in control. But Barry Schwartz's research shows that too much choice makes people more likely to feel depressed and out of control. After reading the article, I started second-guessing myself. Should I still be teaching parents to give choices to their kids? I belong to the Positive Discipline Parenting Forum. I decided to throw this question out there and see what this lovely and bright group of parent educators had to say. This is what Positive Discipline instructor Rachel Reyes has to say about choices. To make choices work for parents, the following should be done. Options need to be limited, and the choices should be over something that doesn't affect the entire family. For example, we're going to the grocery store. Do you want to put on your shoes, or do you want me to do it? We are going to the grocery store today. Do you want to go now or after lunch? Also, if a child chooses something that is not one of the options, like unhealthy food, I will say, I'm sorry, but that's not one of the choices. Of course, it doesn't always go as I'd like. Sometimes he whines about the choices available and refuses to choose. At that point, I tell him I need an answer by the time I count to 5 or I get to choose. You don't have to give a choice for everything. The point of choices is to give children the opportunity to learn how to make decisions and to give them some feeling of control over their lives. If you choose everything for them while they're young, how can you expect them to know how to make choices when you're not around? You just listened to the post titled, Good Parenting, Should We Give Kids Choices? By Adina Soclof of parentingsimply.com. Now, there's a lot of talk about New Year's resolutions right now, and most of them revolve around either a healthier lifestyle or freeing up some time for ourselves. Why not both? Get started on your resolutions with Factor, so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. And what I really like is that when things get hectic, Factor is flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. So head to factormeals.com/optimal50, that's optimal50, and use code optimal50 to get 50% off. That's code optimal50 at factormeals.com/optimal50 to get 50% off.
There are lots of ways to potentially boost your investments these days, and even more options on where to stash them. Make the smart move by transferring your brokerage account over to Robinhood. Whether you're transferring $1,000 or $2 million, don't miss out on Robinhood's offer for an unlimited 1% bonus on your assets. Unlimited, as in no cap. See why over 3 million people have rated Robinhood 5 stars on the App Store. Visit Robinhood.com/optimal to claim your bonus. Terms apply to the bonus. See full bonus terms at Robinhood.com. Investments offered through Robinhood Financial LLC. Investing is risky.
And a big thank you to Adina. Now, as she said, giving children choices is a really important parenting technique, significantly beneficial in developing decision-making skills. You see, presenting children with simple choices, like deciding whether to put on their shoes themselves or having a parent help, which is really cute, engages them in basic decision-making, right? This process teaches them to evaluate options and understand the consequences of their decisions. And they're best equipped to do this when anyone's best equipped to do this, which is when they are empowered and not being forced into a situation. Surely, even as adults, we can relate to how much clearer our choices are under those right conditions. And moreover, offering choices doesn't mean that parents lose authority, which is what I fear a lot of parents are most concerned about. When a child selects an option outside those provided choices, parents can still guide them back by explaining the limits. So again, this method not only fosters decision-making skills, but it also teaches children about boundaries and the importance of making thoughtful choices within a sense of structure. Okay, that's going to bring us to the end for today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this post as much as I did, and then it gets you thinking about how to effectively provide choices to everyone, not just kids. Have a fun and safe Friday, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.